Hello, it's me again, Marriage at First Sight family and friends that I'm getting to talk to and review the show that occurred last night. It was such a fabulous show. And today, I tried to remember to bring some notes, but I probably won't go by them. But I wanted to let you know, again, I did my last video, the Botanical Gardens, and I'm kind of trying to show you all, not me, but the backdrop. Actually in another section, this is, I was in the Rose Garden yesterday, but this is a section where they also have weddings. If you can see that arch, and it has a rose in the center. And I'm just going to walk around a little bit so that you can see. They have benches over there, and I thought this was kind of appropriate for the fact that it's Married at First Sight, and this is a place that people have weddings. So I'm going to just show you a little bit of Birmingham. You saw me, but I think this is what's going to be good. Look at these beautiful flowers here. Okay, so, and I'm just going to show you the flowers, hopefully, and the clouds and our beautiful view, and just talk about the show. And something that I wanted to say about the show is starting with, well, I'll tell you what, I was going to start with Johnny and Bo, but I'm going to start again with Michaela and Zach, because it's quick. This is a tree. I don't know the name of it. Oh, look, there's a nest. Can you see the nest up in the tree? Yeah. So, Zach and Michaela, you know, he's still suffering from COVID. It is a time of COVID. So he's suffering. She said that Johnny came and tossed him up a few beers because, you know, they had enjoyed the beers and stuff. Okay, so that's all we got to hear really from him. And she talked a little bit, but it wasn't a whole lot to be said. And I'm trying to give you all an up close view if I can. So it seems like, you know, they highlight a little bit of the couples going out and spending time together. So Jose and Rachel, they went and sat out on the beach, dressed really nice for a beach scene, but you know, it was all good to me. I like all of that. Let me show y'all this gate. This is beautiful. Can you see it? I'm hoping you can see without the glare. Let me see if I can get up here. Maybe I should on the other side. But yeah, she said she could open up the wine because she actually worked in the restaurant business. And at first he was still trying to do that I'm the man thing and open it up. And eventually he caved in and gave it to her because she said he was doing it wrong. And so she opened it and they, you know, talked. I don't think it was anything too heavy that kind of made, these are hydrangeas, that made me really want to say a whole lot. I think they covered a lot of good grounds as far as talking about things like living together. You know, continuing from where they were last week. It's only appropriate. Okay, and then Johnny and Bao, they had their date in the room. And they had sushi and other Asian desserts. And they sat and enjoyed each other. And I think the way that they are honest with each other. They were honest there, and then they also did a scene on a hammock. And they're honest with each other in the way that they talk about what things trigger them that would have been a thing that would have made them move on if they weren't married. And what I was saying in my last post was, I agree. It's almost like there's repeated just what I said. That if I probably hadn't married my husband, a lot of things that he did, and he probably would agree with me the same, that if we weren't married, we wouldn't have put as much of an effort to stay together. If we were dating, we would have really just have let that thing go. Look at this beautiful flower. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's some kind of lily, but isn't that beautiful? And so that's pretty much what he expressed several times, that he would have just said no. This is a deal breaker. Where he overreacted. Oh, and I put in my notes, I just put that Bow is Johnny as a girl and Johnny is Bow as a boy. You know what I'm saying. So, yeah, so I think they're very honest. They're still walking on eggshells. That's what I call it. Because I know when I first got married, I'm going to sit on this bench over here and let y'all get this backdrop. When I first got married to my husband, and then I inherited 2 sons. And I just felt like I dated him. We dated for 2 years. We didn't live together prior. But I just felt like I was walking on eggshells. I'm trying to show the flowers. I just felt like I was walking on eggshells a lot of the time. And I was like, man, I am just trying so much every day not to break these eggshells. I just don't want to crack these eggs. I got to be so delicate how I handle things now. And I don't know if that's everybody's opinion of how marriage is in the beginning. But for me, oh my God, it was. Now my husband, years later, we have 2 girls. And he says he understands how I feel with having lived with him and just boys. Yeah. Okay, so then we went on to Brett and Ryan. I think if they don't make it, it's just because they don't want to be. And I think they want to be together. So I think they should take their time just getting to know each other and get into the comfort of the life that they can have. So they went out kayaking, and he wanted to see the manatees and touch them, I guess, or whatever stuff guys do. Well, and I say that, or maybe not guys, but maybe just him. But I agree with Brett. Why are we doing this? I don't want to see him. I see him out of my peripheral. That's enough for me. What else am I going to do? Is this thing going to get up and try to attack me? Why would we want to do this? Why would we want to bother them in their natural environment? What is the purpose of this? Kayaking, okay, yeah, fine. But this other stuff, enough of that. Let's get out of the water. Why did we do this anyway? Okay, I'm trying to be agreeable. Can we stop this now? So everything she pretty much was thinking, I'm in agreement. So I hope Ryan doesn't hold this against her, that she didn't want to participate, because she did do it and try to do it with him. And so I would think that that would be enough to show that she's at least trying. And she's a girl that plays roller derby type stuff, I thought they said. So I'm thinking she's somewhat athletic. So he shouldn't hold it against her because she doesn't want to do all of those man-godly things. Okay? So, yes, look at the view, look at the view, look at the view. Who didn't? Well, I think, oh. Mueller and Gill. I'll tell you, I'm such a Mueller. And I like a guy like Gill. You know why? I think they could work. It's because if you notice, when they get up in the morning, like as soon as he turned the light off, she's like, no light. So he turned the light off. And I just thought, if that's not my younger sister. We tried to live together after we were roommates in college. After we had both graduated. We had moved to Georgia, to the Stone Mountain area. And I'm a wake up in the morning singing person. She told me no singing. She made a list. She talked to me. We had to have a meeting. She told me, you can't get up in the morning singing. I'm like, what? We grew up together. You know I do that. Me and my daddy. I guess she said, well, now you ain't here with your daddy, and I'm like your mama. No singing in the morning. I moved into her space, so no singing in the morning. So Marilyn, no light on, even though it looked pretty light in there. But she said no light, so he turned them off. But if you notice, he came and sat beside her in the bed, and he's really nice and easy the way he likes to talk and hang out. And so I'm like, oh, I mean, he's just a wonderful person. And I like how he said, oh, when I get home, I have to run errands. And she said, oh, what kind of errands you have to run? He was like, you don't have any? Well, and I guess they kind of talked, because he was saying that he came and said in the sidebar that she pays people to do those things. And that would probably be my youngest sister, my husband. And you would think it would be me. But I kind of like doing my shopping and stuff old school, because I like to touch stuff and see stuff. Just showing you all the grounds. Hopefully I'm not moving around too fast. Let me show you this side gate here. You might get a better view over this way. So they all talked, got together and had a quadruple date and talked and asked each other questions. And I think, as a good show would, they would have questions for them to ask. And they're pretty much the same questions that they've asked through the years when they all get together and have their date. And Ryan is right. The people who were missing were the ones who actually consummated the marriage when they asked that question. And so we already know the answer. And I agree with Merla, because Johnny and Bao know each other. They probably will be next. And so, but who knows? And I don't even really care about that, to tell you the truth. Because they said in the Bible something about the marriage bed undefiled, that, so I don't need to know that, and I don't care. Let me go for my other notes so I don't forget anything. Okay, when they all took the date where they all went out and were on the boat. Typical girls, and I appreciate it, because I would have been the same way. I probably now would try getting on the board, but it wouldn't be a big deal. I would have been just like the other girls. You can keep that. I knew Johnny was going to be okay. In a way, I kind of wondered if it was a setup. They're saying that it was real, but I'm like, man, he's a guy. He likes doing guy things. Set up. He wasn't going to get lost out there. He wasn't going to get run over by the boat. He wasn't going to drown. It almost looked like when Ryan got in the water, like he was standing in it. So I'm like, okay, how deep really is that water? But maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just me. Okay, so this is what I did want to address, though. Is that I was saying that from some of the previous shows, I thought Bo was being ridiculous about Bao. Was, when they showed the previews about the show, that she was being ridiculous about, like, what? She's not showering? What is it? I was like, who is the person that doesn't keep hygiene? And but then after seeing the episode, I was like, wait, Jen is full of ridiculousness. I like that new word, ridiculousness. He's just full of ridiculousness, because it's like, okay, I like for my spouse and myself to shower at least daily. It doesn't hurt if it's done twice a day, but 3 times? What's happening that you got to do it 3 times a day? You're going to strip yourself of all your oils. Come on now, you got to keep some of your oils, because you don't want to be a wrinkly prune too soon. Come on, Johnny, you're 35. You got to watch that. And then I put in my notes, that, sometimes with girls, we get emotional, like she said, and, we get in our head and start living there for a moment. So, yeah, you may not shower or something, but I don't even like taking too many days. I worked at home, and I might skip one day, but then, nope, I got to do it the next day, because it just don't feel right, don't seem right, nothing's right. But, when we get in our heads, you have to do that. So, Johnny, you got to stop tripping. And then after the workout, I don't know, if you're working out at night, maybe. But if you're working out in the day, really, I tell you, I have to at least do a shower. I don't do a bath every day, but I have to do a shower because if I don't, things just don't get done. A shower is my coffee. I don't really drink coffee, but once I take that shower, you better be ready to get me doing something because I'm ready to do something. Okay. And then, I wanted to say that when they were in the room and they were eating their meal together, the sushi, and they started kissing. Did y'all see Johnny? I was like, ooh, Johnny got some moves. And she started laughing, and I hope he doesn't take offense because it was like, she knew what that was getting ready to happen. She probably was willing, but the camera was in there. Man, y'all can't be staying in them bedrooms. Y'all messing up folks' action. Johnny was getting ready to get that. So anyway, Johnny, don't hold that against her because she can't be doing the boom boom in front of folks on TV. You know, they call that porn. So she can't do that. Even though y'all married, she can't do that. Alright. Oh, what I got here? Oh, yeah. Marilyn and Gil, when they were talking about that dog, and he was saying that he think it's a waste of money to have a dog walker. I was like, but you've been paying for a dog walker all this time. You mean you got married to her so she can walk your dog? You won. I snorted. I don't know why that happened. That never happened. But, you married her to be your dog walker? Is that what you did? How come you didn't get those other ladies that you've been hooking up with to walk that dog? Yeah, they didn't want to do it either. But you see, she gets all her stuff taken care of. She gets serviced. So you know, I'll ask her to walk that dog. I love animals. But I don't have a dog. And I'm trying to get my mind into the fact of getting one so my children will know how to handle a pet. But I won't because I'm like, I don't want to walk a dog when it's cold, raining, snowing, which I'm in Alabama, we don't get snow all the time, but more now than before. I don't want to pick up a dog's poop. I got to have a big enough yard so that the dog can go out in the back and have his bathroom and all that stuff and work it out. I'm not walking a dog. Maryland's not walking a dog. You better keep paying that dog walker or hire some teenager or somebody to walk that dog and waste that money or whatever, because Myrla is not getting ready to walk them dogs or that dog in her Jimmy Choo her red bottoms or whatever she's wearing. She's willing to have children, not 8, and like she said, when you all out in that gazebo, not 8, and not adopted unless you can't have any. And I don't know why he's thinking that's such a torture for him. It's a rare woman he's going to get past 2 or 3 children, pushing 4, as a man who's not actually carrying a baby for 9 months and having to either get pushed and baby out or getting cut. You asking a whole lot and acting like she's crazy for not wanting to give that to you. Wonder why you haven't been married. But you're a nice guy, but you need to get it together because those thought processes ain't working like you need them to. Plus, you're saying that being that you don't have a child. Once you have one and you have 2 and you realize that, not that they take a lot of time, but the point that they take up your mind because you want to make sure that they're safe, that they have what they need. And they have attitudes that they give back to you that you got to know how to handle with yourself and your wife and then your job and your church and then the organizations you're in and all of that. It takes up a lot of time and you be in a fireman and you're going to be gone for 24-hour time frames. Yeah, you're asking for a whole lot. You better get some of the neighbors, the guys that you work with, some of their children and bring them over and y'all play together in the park and get a wives a break or something. But don't get mad at her because she doesn't want to participate in that because it's a lot. I have 2. And I would have thought I would have wanted more. And probably if I had started younger, because I started later, maybe I would have had 1 or 2 more, maybe. But they take up your mind. They take up your mind. And not in a bad way. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, if you have 8, you'll love them all. If you have 9, 10, 15, and I say 15 because my grandmother had 15, you'll love them all. What I'm saying is, I'm looking down this runway. where the bride can come through. I'm trying to get so I can show you. So I'm just looking now through there. But yeah, children take up your mind, your time, and your money. And if you want to travel with them all, unless you're the Duggars and you're getting somebody to pay it, you got to consider all that. And you might say, well, I'm not worried about that. But your children, they're going to want that. They're going to want a life where they can get benefits. And then they're going to want to have you and your mom, their mom, there together as a couple and happy. So you have to consider what makes people happy and be realistic. Just because you were an only child, don't punish your wife because your parents didn't give you more siblings, or you said you had more siblings perhaps, but you were just raised by yourself. Don't punish her for your parents' choices. You all think more logically so you can stay married beyond first sight. There's my hand. And with that, I am going to say goodbye and see you all next week. Bye-bye.